A very good morning to our viewers. Welcome back to another episode of Good Morning Nagaland. But first, before beginning our day, let's get God's blessing by Bible verse.
The Lord gives sight to the blind. The Lord lifts up those who are bowed down. The Lord loves the righteous. Psalms 146:8.
With that, now it's time for the positive thought of the day.
You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. Buddha.
You know, it's always so good to get some motive in the morning, to get some positivity to go ahead with our day. And with this show, we always give you the best positive thoughts of the day. So now it's time for the headlines of the hour. Naga People's Front revokes suspension of 7 MLAs who defied party directive during the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. The 7 legislators were suspended from the NPF party for allegedly voting in favor of NDPP candidate. Former NPSC Commissioner and Secretary W. Honje Konyak is appointed as Chairman of Nagaland Public Service Commission to a post that was lying vacant since retirement of its TS Angami in November 2021. Criticizing Government of India's decision of partial withdrawal, Manipur unit of Naga People's Front and Congress demand complete repealment of Armed Forces Special Powers Act from the Northeast. After weeks of political mudslinging, name-calling and claims of an international conspiracy, Imran Khan is set to face no confidence vote on Sunday in Pakistan's National Assembly. 36-hour curfew has been imposed in Sri Lanka from Saturday 6 p.m. to Monday 6 a.m. amid a spate of protests over the economic crisis in the island nation. Government also blocks access to all social media sites including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp and YouTube in an attempt to stem misinformation. With that, now it's time to read the daily leadings of the state. So first we have Morung Express. Let's see the headlines. The first one, ASPA should be repealed from Naga homeland, NFS. Even as the central government announced the reduction of disturbed areas under Armed Forces Act in Nagaland with effect from April 1, the Naga Students Federation has termed the move as a ploy of the government of India to please some few sections of the northeastern people. While there is no denying that areas falling under 15 police stations in the state of Nagaland is set to benefit from the above stated policy of Government of India, the Federation has upheld that a major chunk of the Naga homeland spread across 4 Indian states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur and Nagaland are yet again classified as disturbed areas. It escapes the reasoning of Federation as to what the yardsticks were used to lift the act from certain areas of the northeast region as police stations within the Naga homeland, which have almost perfect laws and order records. They are projecting a relatively peaceful and tranquility environment completely left out, it added. Outrightly rejecting the ploy of the government, NFS Federation's President Kegweyun Tep and General Secretary Supuni Nangfilo stated that the Federation would continue to endeavor to ensure that in the Humane Act, it repealed by the Government of India or completely lifted from the entire Naga homeland. Yet there's another Well, moving on to the another lead, it's been written that 2 villages mistakenly has been shot by army interrupt. That's in Arunachal Pradesh. Yet again, there's another story that breaks our heart. 2 civilians were mistakenly shot by the army interrupt district of Arunachal Pradesh, army sources said on Saturday. The incident happened at Chasa village on Friday evening when the 2 villagers identified as Nokpya Wangdang age 28 and Ramwang Wangsu age 23 were returning home after fishing in a river, which is what the locals said. The incident comes months after 14 people were shot at by the army in a botched anti-military operation that was in our state, Nagaland's Mon district, triggering a widespread of protest, demanding the withdrawal of ASPA. The 2 wounded villagers were then sent to Assam Medical College and Hospital in Dibrugarh by the army for treatment. There was credible information about the movement of armed rebels and an ambush was laid by the special forces. The army said that, and it was a case of mistaken identity. There's another case of misinformation and a mistaken identity. I really hope that, this has been happening since a long time, and because of the armed forces, Special Powers Act, this has been continuing. So people are, still appealing to the government that there should be repealment of the Draconian Act. So moving on, Tikhir officially accorded status of separate Naga tribe. Yet this is a happy story that the Tikhir tribe has been officially recognized as a separate Naga tribe with a Tikhir tribe recognition celebration which was held at Kusam town on April 2. Moving on to fuel prices to continue to rise across Nagaland. This has been happening in the entire nation with the 10th increase in prices since March 22. Petrol and diesel prices on April 2 have increased by over ₹7 per litre each across the state of Nagaland and the entire country. Petrol and diesel prices were on Saturday hiked by 80 paise a litre each across India. As a result, a litre of petrol is now retailing at 104.50 in Dimapur. And then we have up to 96.92 before March 22, indicating a cumulative increase by 7.58 per litre. Likewise, the diesel was also available at a price of 90.92 on Saturday, up from the ₹83.68 before the current cycle of price hike started a 4.5-month-long hiatus on March 22. The price of diesel accordingly is up by ₹7.24 litre since March 22 in Dimapur. Similarly, patterns are observed across the state and observed across the country as well. Moving on to our next story, which is 1.23 lakh employees in Nagaland government payroll. Government spends ₹7,090 crore on salary and allowance. A total of 1,23,182 employees were under the Nagaland state government payrolls as of March 31, 2021. According to the explanatory memorandum laid before legislature during the recently concluded 7th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Out of the total, 1,09,508 employees were designated as non-development or under state departments, while 13,674 were employed under centrally sponsored schemes, centrally planned schemes, etc. As per the schedule indicating the total expenditure on salaries and allowances of the memorandum, a total of 7,090 crore is estimated to spend for the 1.23 lakh employees on 2022 to 2023. We have another news daily which is called the Eastern Mirror. Here we have India sees warmest March in 122 days, lowest rainfall since 1998. India recorded its warmest March in 122 years, with a severe heat wave scorching large across swaths of the country in the month, the Indian Meteorological Department said on Saturday. The weather department attributed the unusual heat to lack of rainfall due to absence of active western disturbance over the North India and any major system over South India. The country as a whole recorded a rainfall of 8.9 millimeter, which was 71% less than its long period average rainfall of 30.4 millimeter. It was also the third lowest precipitation since March 1901 and 7.2 milliliter in 1909 and 88.7% millimeter in 1900. Moving on to the next lead. ZSUN upset over random transfer of teachers. The Zeliangrong Students Union Nagaland has expressed dismay over rationalization of schools and teachers in parent district by the Department of School Education, claiming that the decision on redeployment of teachers is poorly arranged without considering the ground reality faced by the student community and public. So the next lead is NFS slams lifting of ASPA in selected areas, warns of stare. Just like the Morung Express, Eastern Mirror has also taken the same story, which says that NFS slams lifting of ASPA in selected areas, warns of stare. The Naga Students Federation has termed the lifting of Armed Forces Special Power Act 1958 in some pockets of the region, while allowing it to operate in most part of Naga inhabited areas as a ploy of the Indian government. So we have already mentioned in the other news daily that it's a ploy of the government, and so on it goes on. So we have the same story here about the price hike, which is the 10th hike since March. Petrol cost INR rupees 105.62 per litre in Kohima. The prices of petrol hiked again on Saturday, and prompting the rates to 7.20 per litre in the last 12 days. On Saturday, petrol cost 105.62 per litre and INR 91.81 per litre for diesel in Kohima, according to the Indian Oil Corporation Limited. We see that two shot at mistakenly in Arunachal Pradesh, just like the Morung Express. Eastern has also carried the same news. And yesterday, Konya community celebrated Olyong festival. So here it goes. Be hardworking, sincere and dedicated in order to prosper in individuals, families and communities, said advisor for prison, printing and stationery H. Hein. While addressing the gathering at the festival, which the Konyak celebrated yesterday, he mentioned that be hardworking, sincere and dedicated in order to prosper as individuals, not only as individuals but in family and community as well. He was addressing the crowd that gathered for the Olyong festival organized by the Konyak Union Kohima, the Naga Heritage Village Kisama, and hosted by the Changlangshu Sa Kohima unit on Saturday. Hayung urged the Konyaks to be pathfinders, responsible, united and spread peace, pointing out the community live beyond the borders of Nagaland in Myanmar as Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. Speaking about the Olyong festival, he said that it is a heritage, culture and tradition being passed down by the ancestors to future generation. Maintaining that cultural life is what identifies Konyaks. He told to the people to be truthful, decisive and for the good and corrective. He also urged them to forgive and forget the past, renew to share love and understanding to live a meaningful life. So of course, to live a meaningful life, you need to be, you need to love, you need to understand. So it's not just what the leader has said, but in reality also, to live a good life, a healthy life, one needs to love, one needs to have patience, one needs to, you need to be gentle to live a meaningful life. And so that's all with the news leads from Eastern Mirror and the Morung Express. Moving forward to another segment of our show, the news, the facts of the day.
Apple released the first version of the iPad, a tablet computer, on April 3, 2010.
So by today's fact of the day, we have learned that Apple, which we really love, like all the people loves Apple. So the fact was that the Apple launched iPads in this day in 2010. So with this, moving on to another segment that is of course my favorite, and the people who really love melody. So it's time for the morning melody. Let's tune into the music.
I could say I'm doing good all this time, but I'm not okay. Losing time as the world moves fast. Can't find to my own mind. Cocaine and beer
So that was really a refreshing melody. I really love the way she sings, so soothing and so lovely. So, good musicians are to be appreciated, and you see, like we all say that vocal for local, and this is what exactly we are doing. So that's all for the day, but before leaving, it's time for the weather report. And not to forget, live a healthy life and be safe and enjoy the day.
Nagaland TV, Stop Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapur viewers,